I'm here to talk to you about misery with the Misery Index game. Let's see how these events, how miserable I think they are, and see what they think they are. And we'll make a top 10. A 20-minute full body TSA search. The artwork on these is kind of great. I've messed around with them a little bit. Alright, that's in first place right now. They do a 30.5. I'd probably go more in like the 50s or 60s because this is the most miserable thing that I've looked at so far.
It's the only thing you've looked at so far.
A live rat in your toilet.
Yummy.
That's a 30. That is not worse than the TSA search. So,
Do you agree with that rating though?
what did they say? A 30? Yeah, that's low. Thanksgiving with your dysfunctional family. My family is not that dysfunctional, so this is a 0 for me. I'm not even going to put it there. If you want to look at it, the turkey's burning. I don't. They hated each other so much that they just lit the turkey on fire. That's a 0 for me. I love my family.
I love your family too, but I don't know that I'd say they're not dysfunctional.
Everything is relative. All 4 tires slashed on your car. That would piss me off and somebody would die. I would say that's more like in the 50s, although I'm guessing you can get some insurance compensation for that. I don't know.
Have we tracked Pond yet?
Yes. That is not, I'm going to put that number 2. Better or worse than the live rat, but not as bad as the TSA search. A wet dream about your dad.
Woo! That's terrible. Oh.
That's not going to happen for me because that's just, no.
It's just, no.
Your worst,
think about that one.
your worst clown nightmare comes true.
I don't have clown nightmares.
Clowns mean nothing to me. You get a good...
I realized that I should be doing this in my bedroom.
Clowns mean nothing to me, so that's not even going to make this list for me.
That smells so good and I want to steal it.
Spend 5 years in a third world prison. This is going to be number 1 worst for right now. Because that would be a very bad experience.
Sorry, it's hyper focusing on your face for some reason.
86.5 is probably a head injury. You lose 10 IQ points. Did he lose part of his face? I haven't. I mean, I don't know. You can't make me a lot dumber than what I am, so I don't. I'll just put it like last.
I'm not sure I could give you a head injury.
Your phone falls in the toilet. I mean, that depends on what is in that toilet.
And what's on the phone?
And my phone's pretty bulletproof and waterproof, but if you just had some raging diarrhea, that's not pleasant. I'm going to put it behind the TSA full body search, but it had worse than the 4 tires slashed.
4 tires slashed is really more of just a major inconvenience.
A wasp in your mouth.
Nope.
Ouch. That will be behind...
Bees and wasps are a personal fear of mine, so I'd probably have that in my top 10 at least.
This is a very low rating for this. I think it should go a lot higher. I'm going to go just behind the 5 years in a third world prison. Am I down to my top 10 now? We'll worry about that later. A ripped condom.
Really.
Depending on who you are, that could be a big deal. Where I am in my life, I'm not that worried about it.
Worst case scenario, that's what
Bleach in Your Eye.
Planned Parenthood is for.
You could go blind from that, so... But I'd still almost rather have bleach in the eye than a wasp in the mouth, so...
Me too.
So we're going there. Driver's license is suspended.
This would affect me 0. Because I don't drive.
This would affect me a lot, but in kind of an inconvenienced sort of way. I'm going to go...
Well, here's the thing.
Just ahead of the phone falls in the toilet.
If your driver's license is suspended, usually you still have driving privileges to work. So...
You go deaf, and this is a 96. This is, I think, the highest one that... And I'm guessing that this is like total deaf, not like nana deaf. So I would rather, if I was to choose, be deaf than blind. But I'm going to put this as worse than a wasp in the mouth, but still better than 5 years in a third world prison. Because those people are ruthless, and you may be worse than deaf by the time that you're... Bite your tongue off. Like, fully. Just nomming the whole thing off. I don't know what you would do to... Why does the tongue look like a butt? I don't know how this would happen.
It happens.
Does it?
I feel like, yeah. I'd be very surprised if it's never happened. Probably in like car accidents or something.
I'll put it ahead of the wasp in the mouth just because this is a pretty significant injury. And yeah, that's... Do you get a replacement tongue? You go mute. Well, everybody around me would be just delighted.
That one, I can understand why it would be so bad because it can be hard to communicate with people without the use of your voice. Like, imagine, like, even if you know sign language, it's not, although it's getting more and more common, it's not like a common thing. It's hard to find people that know sign language and talk to them. I ran into someone that was either deaf or mute the other day who was trying to talk to me. And they couldn't because I don't know sign language well enough.
Crash in the Andes Mountains and eat your friends to survive. 94.5. So this is a very high.
This is oddly specific, while the other, some of them need more context.
I'm going to go with this as the worst one. This is worse than the third world prison.
Yeah,
that one's oddly specific, and but somehow has. Some of them need more context, and some of them are like oddly specific.
Surgeon amputates the wrong leg. The picture is great on this one again.
You'd get a lot of money from me.
Yeah, you'd be lawyer enough, and then you'd have to, have a wheelchair. I'm gonna put this number 3 like behind the spend 5 years in a third world prison because I feel like you'd be hooked up even though you couldn't walk.
How would that even happen?
Worst surgeon ever. Lost wallet. If only I knew somebody that had experienced this. That's a pain, and I'm gonna put it down there around the driver's license is suspended. So it's probably not gonna end up in the top 10.
It's an inconvenience, but depending on...
It's, it can be overcome and has been. Total amnesia. So you've forgotten everything that you ever knew. This would be very bad for me because I always worry about Alzheimer's and stuff. So I'm going to put this as worse than the third world prison, but not as bad as having to eat your friends to survive. So number 2.
This list will be refined later at the end of this.
Pubic lice. Well, that seems like a bad day. I don't think that we want a very descriptive picture of that. I'm gonna go put it like around the phone falls in the toilet. not like the worst thing ever, but
You remember how bad lice was for us? Now imagine that, but
Yeah.
it's
not good. I'm not gonna addicted to heroin. That is, I can't even imagine myself being like that. I mean, I don't. It's not gonna happen. So, a spider crawls into your ear. Don't they say that you'll eat like so many spiders in your life?
yeah, in your sleep.
I feel like I would like not even know this, so I'm not even that worried about it. A rattlesnake bites your genitals.
Your genitalia specifically.
Ouch.
How would that even happen?
Like a snake, like coming up to you and then just like. Whoosh.
Yes, but presumably you're wearing pants.
I mean, those teeth and fangs will go through that fabric.
It depends on the fabric.
I mean, I'm going with a worst case scenario here. I'm going to put it third behind Total Amnesia, but ahead of.
And they don't just strike for no reason. You'd have to be like teasing a snake with your genitalia specifically, like poking at it, really bothering it.
You go blind. This would be very, very bad. I would not. My grandfather Bill, who I never met, was blind. I'm going to put this. The eating your friends to survive still the worst, but I'm going to put it right behind that right now.
Oh, whoops.
Your arm is amputated. Yeah, there is another. Your arm is amputated. Well, hopefully not the wrong one. I mean, if you're going to have something gone, I guess your arm is better than your leg because you can at least get around. So.
Well, and it also depends how bad it is. See, some of them are hyper specific and some aren't. Need more context. Because if it said like your dominant arm, then it would be like a huge inconvenience. But if it were your the non-dominant arm, you wouldn't be really affected that much.
Buried alive. And then this is not in like the wrestling sense where you've lost a buried alive match and they'll, dig you up later. This is like you're buried alive. I'll agree with the 100 on this. That would be the desperation you'd feel and helplessness. An X-ray finds a lost toy. Specifically, it looks like a Lego.
I feel like that shit happens all the time.
When we get to 20 minutes, let me know, and I'm gonna break it off.
Okay. Brought to you by Diet Pepsi, because it's just barely within the shot.
Diet Pepsi.
It's not sponsored.
But it could be. I don't know, how... I don't eat very many Legos. Correction, I eat no Legos, so I don't... I don't think...
Nor are you one of those weird
That's
people
what he
that,
says.
like, shove stuff up your butt that shouldn't go up your butt.
Develop Tourettes Curse
You all
constantly.
know who you are.
I mean, I curse a fair amount, although others I think are worse than I am. I don't think that's that big of a deal, really, so I'm not even putting that in.
Well, it can be an inconvenience. You can ask any person with Tourette's how much of a struggle it is to have it.
I'm not going to minimize how much of a pain it is, but I don't really, I can't even, make a fair ranking of it, to be honest. Taken hostage during a bank robbery. Oh, Rona. I mean, that would be stressful. Better than total amnesia. Better than getting bit in the balls. Spending 5 years. Kind of like that. I'm going to put it around the third world prison. Spouse has a year-long affair. And this picture's great.
No, I don't.
Look at what you've done.
Again, no, I don't.
I have no worries about that, so I'm not even, going in the box. Develop an allergy to alcohol. I am dry, so that means 0 to me.
I mean, I'd maybe give it like a 5.
Okay. I mean,
Just because I can imagine like situations where it depending on what kind of allergy it is, like if it's one of those throat closing allergies, some people cook with alcohol, and that would be enough to possibly.
imagine like B-Dub's beer battered onion rings. But,
Yeah.
it's still like, of all the, it's not as near as bad as some of the things that I've read already.
Yeah, that's why I'd give it the number.
Your house burns down. And presumably all the things in it, all the pets in it. That would be...
Well, it doesn't specify that. It specifies the house burning down. Well, theoretically, fish and stuff like that aren't going to get out of the house very quickly, but it doesn't say specifically that your stuff and your animals are going to be trapped in the fire and you lose everything.
I'm going to put it down with the TSA full body search and behind a lot of the things that are like directly happening to you. It's a material type of thing. Hemorrhoids. Ouch, but at some point in my life that's probably going to be a thing, so. I don't think it's as bad as this stack, so. Not that I look forward to that ever happening. You're having triplets. Well, if I, as a guy, am going to have triplets, there's going to be some
questions.
But I'm not too worried about that happening, so. Termites. I mean a pain, but
Have to
don't
be
know.
something serious.
Unless it's like super duper termites and our house is like turning to powder.
But unless they're like the ones from Supernatural.
Basement floods. I mean,
Didn't we have a basement flood once?
I mean, that would be.
Mom?
I live in a second-story apartment right now, so.
I don't know why I seem to remember that then.
I mean, this isn't applicable to where I am in my life, but it would be a pain. I think 36 is probably a pretty good rating.
Some water damage, some stuff damaged.
Yeah. Lawnmower mangles your foot. That's...
How do you manage that?
Like you're out mowing the lawn and you pull it back too far, and... I mean, it's not impossible. I'm going to put that around the amputation ones here, that are here. You're not guaranteed to get amputated from that, but it's not going to feel great either. What do we got? This one right there. Wipe your ass with poison ivy. Well, why would that happen? How would that happen? You're stupid if you do that.
Well, you could be going in the woods and you don't know. We're at 19, by the way. And you don't know how to tell poison ivy from other leaves. And
Look at all these bottles of calamine lotion in here. That's not even like realistic. And I mean, I get the situations you're talking about, but
it happens. It's probably not comfortable.
Your bleeping ex wins the bleeping lottery. I don't give my ex a second thought, so I don't bleeping care.
Which bleeping ex?
Well, the most recent one that I was
The most
actually...
bleeping one of all.
I have no ill will towards any of them, or even really that one.
I know someone who would be really, really, really affected by that and be super pissed.
Trapped in an elevator overnight with White Christmas playing on continuous loop.
The song just I'm dreaming.
I like that
of
song,
a-
and I don't.
Well, how long did it say? Sorry,
Just overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight.
I mean, it would get annoying, but it wouldn't.
That's like incredibly specific, and
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't really want to be spending overnight in an elevator. But
I mean, the in the elevator part would suck. But the White Christmas part, why? Why does it matter?
hit your thumb with a hammer. I mean, I think I've done that before. I think a lot of people probably have. It sucks.
It hurts.
You will cuss very loudly.
What?
Hitting your
It's
thumb
kind
with
of
a
like
hammer.
the stubbing your
Not even
toe.
worth
But that's
mentioning.
not anywhere in these. A fish hook in your thumb. Ouch. That one should be more than a 20. I'd say that's more in the 40s. I'll put this in.
I'd put that in the same level as like the whole like stubbing toe shit and that stuff. I mean, depending on how it's there specifically, you do have to like probably get it removed from. Oh, we're at 21 now.
Okay, well, in the next video, we will continue this exhilarating conversation on misery.